Gerald Newton found a quiet street on the outskirts of the city of Leeds in northern England. Jean Newton is a teacher at Gledow Primary School. Gerald Newton, also a teacher, is head of the English department at Templemore High School. Lindsay, aged 15, is a student at John Smeaton High School. She's thinking seriously about studying for a career in dress design. John Newton, aged 13, is a student at Brainwood Middle School. He is a better-than-average student and is preparing for the exams that every English student must take before going to high school. At 8:30 every weekday morning, you'll find Mr. Newton, Lindsay, and two of her friends starting off for the high school. At the same time, Mrs. Newton and John and two of his friends are starting off for their schools. Gerald Newton is well acquainted with the organization of the English school system.
Well, there is no simple English school system because the ages of transfer from one school to another vary from different regions in the country. The system in Leeds is one that has been operating for 3 years now. Children go to a first school at 5, transfer to a middle school from 9 until 13, and at 13 go to a high school. The leaving age is 16, but of course some stay on until they're 18.
John is in his final year in middle school, equivalent to 8th grade in an American school. During class breaks, boys and girls in John's school participate in a game of rounders. Cricket is a game played by older students. John Newton hasn't played much, but he's watched cricket many times. John's favorite game is football, which is the same game as American soccer. John's interest and ability in sports come from his father, who was both a football player and a coach. All the major cities in Great Britain have professional football teams. John's scarf and hat are the Leeds United team colors. There's a big game today with a team from London, Queen's Park Rangers. It was a close game, but Leeds United lost by a score of 1-0. Leeds is one of the more important industrial cities of northern England. It's a textile or cloth-making center. It was here and in other cities like it that the Industrial Revolution really started. About 200 years ago, machines were first used to make thread and cloth, and this brought great changes for people all over the world. Workers' homes built during the Industrial Revolution are still used today. They contrast with the newer high-rise apartment dwellings of a modern city. This is going to be a special kind of day for both John and Lindsay, especially for Lindsay. Jean Newton tells why.
Leeds University decided to have an open day so that people could go and have a look around at the various departments and see what they had to offer. We in particular were interested in visiting the textile department, as my daughter wants to go into dress designing, and we thought it might give her some idea of what they had to offer at Leeds University.
After a day at the university, John takes time to watch the telly.
This is a car.
5 o'clock in the afternoon is also tea time, with currant biscuits, Scotch eggs, and trifle. In some homes, tea is the main evening meal. Tea time gives Lindsay a chance to talk with her mother about an upcoming school trip through the Dales country and to the nearby city of York. Some of the towns they'll go through have interesting names. The Dales country also has some interesting landforms caused by years of wind and water erosion. Sheep raising is one of the most important agricultural activities in this part of England. These animals provide the wool that is made into the famous English and Scottish wool clothing. York is a city where you can see evidence of English history all the way back to Roman times. Evidence of York's historic past dates from the time the Romans first invaded Britain in 43 A.D. They made York their northern military capital. York later was held by the Danes, who invaded this part of England in 866 A.D. Still later, it was held by the Normans, who came from France in 1066 A.D. and invaded all of England. An ancient wall, built in the 1300s, surrounds the center of the city. It was built to protect against Scottish marauders from the north. This wall was once high, but in the 700 years since it was built, earth and debris have built up the ground level at its base. It's a favorite place for school groups to visit. Perhaps they can even feel what it was like for those who once patrolled these walls protecting this historic city. In the center of the city is York Minster, a fine example of Gothic cathedral architecture. Although Britain has an official state religion, there is complete religious freedom for all. John usually has homework to do in the evening. At the moment, he's studying the English political system. England is a part of the United Kingdom, which also includes Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It is a constitutional monarchy. Great Britain refers only to the area which includes England, Scotland, and Wales. The government of the United Kingdom is democratic in form. The legislative branch consists of 2 houses of Parliament, which meet in separate chambers in this building in London. The House of Commons is made up of elected representatives from every district in the country. The House of Lords has a membership based on heredity, church position, or appointment by the government. The political party with the largest number of members elected to the House of Commons forms a government consisting of a prime minister and cabinet. This cabinet runs the government departments and proposes the laws. The House of Commons approves or disapproves the laws presented to it by the government. The House of Lords can debate and make recommendations on the laws passed by Commons, but has no power to reject them. In the United Kingdom, political power rests with the people, acting through their elected representatives. The British flag flying over the Parliament building indicates that Parliament is in session. The Prime Minister lives and works at number 10 Downing Street. Since Britain is a democracy, the rights of the minority to disagree are protected by British law. The River Thames, also an important part of British history, glides through the heart of London. In earlier days, this river provided a major transportation route for the commerce and the people of London. It is one of the reasons why the city was built and has thrived here through the centuries. Britain was once the largest naval power in the world. Being an island nation and dependent on world trade, it had to keep the seas open for its shipping. It controlled colonies throughout the world. Now its role has changed. It has close ties to the European Economic Community. It is also a leader of the Commonwealth of Nations. This is a group of mostly former colonies which have voluntarily joined together for their mutual economic benefit. The Newtons once visited the Tower of London on a family trip to the capital. The tower contains much of Britain's royal history. It is also where the crown jewels are kept. Once, the British monarchs had a great deal of power. Today, they have no power over their subjects, but are still an important symbol to most of the British people. The monarchy is also important in a political sense, as Gerald Newton explains.
I think that in England, perhaps, we're less politically conscious, concerned than a great number of people. And I think it is because of some sense of certainty about our monarchy. Our political system is not perfect. Perhaps it is one of the clumsiest in the world today. But somehow it manages to work, and it may be that we have this sense of continuity carried on, in the words, of course, the king is dead, long live the king. That sense of immediate succession that is there all the time.
The Newtons often spend their vacations together as a family.
Well, we take holidays in the caravan at Easter, Whitsuntide, summer, and in the autumn. We did find that caravanning with the children helped their characters develop, and they did become more outgoing because they mixed with so many different kinds of people from different walks of life. At the moment, the children are enjoying being in the Lake District, so they can do plenty of walking and climbing.
Hiking in the Lake District of England is a chance for many British young people, including school groups, to get to know their country better. Perhaps because of its simple beauty, the Lake District was once a favorite place for poets and writers. See if you can recognize these lines by a famous English poet. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze.
When children were small and weren't particularly interested in walking, we used to travel further afield and go right up into Scotland to see the magnificent scenery up there.
It only takes the Newtons a few hours to be able to see beautiful Scotland. Its rugged west coast, where seabirds nest high above the ocean and patrol the offshore waters. The interior lakes, such as Loch Ness, where the ruins of Urquhart Castle brood over the still waters, and where John and Lindsay can look for the Loch Ness Monster. Magnificent Edinburgh Castle, where tourists come from all over the world. But a trip such as this is also a good chance to see some of the different ways in which people of the United Kingdom make their living. By industry, mining. By banking and commerce. By fishing. By manufacturing woolens and fabrics. By farming. By sheep raising and cattle raising. Another major industry is shipbuilding. But some of these shipyards are busy making another product. New oil platforms are being built and assembled in the North Sea, where large deposits of oil are now lubricating the British economy, increasing the output of Britain's industry, and raising the living standards of its people. One of the great countries of the world looks forward with renewed hope to its future. The Newton family of Leeds, England, will be a part of that future.